In section 3.4, problem 1 calls for us to check for truth functional consistency with the set of sentences. And what this means is the set of sentences is consistent if they can all be true at the same time. And so it wants us to construct a full truth table. So we have three variables, A, B, and C. And so this is going to give us a series of truth values. 8 rows worth. Okay. Now, A and likewise B and similarly over here with A and B. Also with B. And now finally C. Okay, now let's start working on some of the operators. So for A and B, we're simply going to have the negation. Okay, and now A and B here. Okay, and now C implies B. So here's the problem case, and the others should be true. Now, these two wedged together, if either one is true, that's going to give us a true. And now finally, we have the wedge, we have here and here. Is it possible for these sets in any one row to be true at the same time? And indeed, there's one that jumps out to us right here at the very end. So yeah, it is possible. So they are consistent. Okay. Now 3D, you can tell by the space that I left for 3D how it is that this is going to turn out. 3D calls for checking for truth functional consistency, and if you can do it with a shortened truth table, then do that. And so that's the approach that we're going to take, trying to find out whether it's possible to have all three true at the same time. So we're going to need a bit of symbolization here. So let's say if sugar is desirable, so if sugar is desirable, then let's call that U. If saccharin is desirable, then we'll call that A. If sugar is lethal, is G, and then if saccharin is lethal, then we'll call that C. So what we have here, neither sugar nor saccharin, so this is going to be a negation, is desirable. So this would be or, so we have sugar or saccharin being desirable, and we're told that neither of them are desirable. If and only if That's our clue that there's the triple bar. Both are lethal. So if and only if, both are lethal. So this is going to be like that. So there's the first one. Now the second one, sugar is lethal if and only if, again, saccharin is desirable. So this is very straightforward. So sugar, if and only if. And we have the same sort of thing for the last one. Sugar is undesirable if and only if saccharin isn't lethal. So we have some negations in here. And this tells us not U, triple bar, not C. Now, what we want ultimately is for the final relations in each case, here, here, and here. We want those to result in true. So this is going to mean that the values of all of these must be the same. There must be a case in which all of the values turn out to be the same for each side. So in the case of G triple bar A, let's say, if we assigned true to G and A, being sure to propagate that through here, then we're going to get a true there, which is desirable. Now, with not U and not C, so U and C have to have the same value. Now, U wedge A is going to give me true, no matter what. So with U, I have some freedom with that. That's going to give me true. This will result in false, which means that G and C must result in false, which means that correspondingly I have to choose false here so that I can get false here, because I know that I'm going to get false here because the wedge is going to be true. And so in that case, we can do this. The wedge will be true, the negation is false, the conjunction is false, and so the biconditional is true, true, and we know that we want this to be true. U is false, so that's true. C is false, so that's true. So we had U and C with the same values, and we get trues across the board. So that shows us that all of these sentences can be true at the same time. So again, yes, truth, functional, consistence.